Hello and welcome back to the Leaves tutorials. In this tutorial, we're going to discuss the data and the preparation and the photos that you should consider for chapter 2 of your summary biography. So in this chapter, we already covered chapter 1. We are going to cover, the records that we're going to cover are the path that you took after high school. If you recall, in chapter 1, it sort of ended with you graduating high school. And so this then picks up what path you took from high school. So you perhaps went to college or trade school or vocational school, you joined the military, or you took a job. And it could have been an entry-level job, or you started your career and you've been in the same type of job for most of your career. So we're going to cover the path that you took, and of course, you could have taken these paths in sequence. So maybe you joined the military, then you came out of the military and went to college. In any case, it's going to ask you first if you did attend college or trade school. If you didn't, you just skip it. And if you did, you would want to put in the name of the school that you attended and the location, city and the state, the province if you're overseas, the dates you attended, what your major was, and your degree or certification. And if you had none, you can just leave that field blank. Lots of people, including myself, when we first started college, didn't finish on the first go around. So leave it blank if you didn't get a degree or certification. The suggested photos for this record is it's great to have the entry of the college. You know how they always have a big gate or they have the sign. Lots of people take their graduation pictures in front of the big wall that has the name of your college. So you may have some pictures of your own, or you can Google images or go to the university's website and pull down just a great image of the college and perhaps even a picture of you standing in front of the sign or the gate to your college. Makes a super good start for this section. Second, you're going to want to upload a photo of you at college, maybe in class, studying, your arms around your buddies, at the library, at the bar, at the fraternity or sorority, just some picture of you during college. One of your favorite pictures would work great. And then the third photo that you should enter for this record is your degree. You can do a photograph of the degree that you got or a graduation picture. And again, if you didn't graduate, if you don't have a degree, just add another favorite picture of you from your attendance and your time at this school. So that would be the first record. And now we're going to go and discuss the second record. If you didn't have military service, you would just skip it, click next, and move on. If you did go into the military, you choose the branch. You know, there's all the logos there: the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines, etc. You would click the branch that you served in, the dates you served, the dates that you went to basic training, and also the location of basic training. What base were you trained at? And then your deployments, and you can just enter them. If you had more than one deployment, you just enter the dates of your deployments and the places of your deployments. And then the final piece that you'll enter for this part of your summary biography on this record is if you received any commendations and any awards, of course, your honorable discharge. You can put in whatever you'd like there. The pictures for this part of your summary biography of the military record, your official military portrait is great. You know, that's always the one with the flag behind you and in uniform. That makes a great photo for this part of your biography. A photo of you on base, either at basic training or maybe during one of your deployments, and either a ceremony, graduating or leaving the basic training ceremony, or an accommodation ceremony, or just you with your buddies that you served with in the military. So that's the record for the military service, if you had military service, and the pictures that the biographer would like to use in this phase. Then you're going to discuss the jobs that you had, your essentially your career, and the questionnaire will ask you what was the first job that you had. You could just start, maybe you started in an internship. Maybe you worked at McDonald's. Maybe like me, you were a paper boy. So you can put in whatever you'd like. The first meaningful job you had sort of after high school, when you started making your own living, is usually the best place to start here. There's no limit to this. After you enter one company, then you would enter the next company, and then you would hit add record. And so some people may have had 10, 12, 15 different companies or jobs that they worked in, sometimes even changing careers. There's no limit. So whatever you want to include in your summary biography for this phase, what do you want your readers and your viewers to see about your career, your work career, how you made your living? So very important, of course, to include the one you spent the most time at. Most of us, I've had many jobs in my career. I'm sure you have had even different jobs within the same company, but the one you were in the longest and provide the lion's share of your income and your living over your lifetime, supporting your family, matriculating through life like we all do. It's always good to at least include that. So you'll be entering your company name, the location of the company where you worked, the headquarters, and maybe you didn't work at the headquarters, maybe you worked at a satellite office. You put in where the dates you worked for that company, and then the titles that you held there. And then what we recommend is for each entry, for each record of the company that you worked at, you would include at least one photo. And it could be you at work, you with your coworkers, whatever you want to put in there to sort of represent that company. I have even seen users just upload a logo of the companies they worked at. They went and sourced that off the internet and put in the company logo. The biographer would like to use 3 photos of the company that you had the longest tenure with. And again, this could be you at work, you in an industry event, you with your coworkers, you presenting, whatever it might be. Now, some people get a little nervous about this because maybe they didn't have a particular career or a long period in the workforce. Hey, work at home, just as important. My mom worked at home. She worked in the workplace for a while, but for many years she was at home raising the kids, and that's what you would put in. You were domestic CEO, domestic engineer, stay-at-home father, stay-at-home dad, whatever, just as important. Also, if you did have a long work career where you were on a paycheck, W-2, even if you worked in the gig economy, you can put that in. You could put in volunteer work. If you maybe taught in the classroom, maybe you worked for a nonprofit, you worked in the hospital. All of that is fine. Just whatever sense you want to give people when you're summarizing. Remember, summarizing your life story here. How did you spend the time in the workforce? What occupied the time outside of your home when for work and for making a living? That's kind of what we're trying to capture here. And then the last part of the chapter 2 biography summary is just sort of summarizing the profession and industry you worked in. So your occupation, doctor, lawyer, construction, teacher, nurse, whatever your occupation was, it will ask you to try to at least narrow down. And a lot of us had many occupations in our career. I've had a 40-plus work career, I've had a number of occupations, but in general, my occupation was entrepreneur. When I look at all of the things that I've done, all the companies, the titles, the things I've worked in, essentially I considered myself an entrepreneur. So what did you consider yourself in your working life? And then what industry did you primarily work in? Did you work in financial services? Maybe you were in banking. Was it education? Maybe you were teaching, healthcare, you were a nurse. whatever the industry or job type you did, it's good to put that in to sort of summarize this part of your biography. So for photos, you can put in an occupational photo, you in uniform. If you had a uniform at work, you at work, you at an industry event, maybe a company photo. A lot of companies take photos with all of the employees that you're in. So whatever 3 photos best represent your occupation and the industry and the time that you had a working life. Okay, that concludes chapter 2. So as you can see, it's the path you took after high school. Went to college or joined the military. I worked, or I worked at home, worked in the home, and I consider my profession and my industry generally to be X and Y. So that is the data that you would enter. These are the suggested photos. Remember, they can all be changed later. You can move these things around. You could hide these slides. You could not include any of these slides. However you want your story to play, I'm going to show you at the end, can all be edited beautifully to suit your own needs and your own objectives for what you want to include in your biography. Okay, and then you'll hit the intermission screen. You'll see that again, just like you did in doing chapter 1. You'll be able to preview the story in progress up to this point. So you'll be able to play the story, and you'll hear the narrator narrating your story with historical context based on the data you entered and based on the photos you uploaded. You can share it again at this point with family, friends, loved ones. Hey, this is my story in progress. Comment. Do you have questions? Are there particular memories that we had together that you would want me to include later? And the map and the timeline will now be expanded because it'll include these additional records. So that is what you can expect to do in chapter 2. And if you'll stick with me on the next tutorial, we'll go through entering this information and playing it back. Okay, hope to see you soon.